Good evening. My name's Richard. This is over and over and over again. It's Friday evening. It can only mean one thing. It is the Arsenal Women's Weekly. We have got the game against Everton to look back on. Another good victory for the girls. A slight bad news again on the injury front, but we'll talk about that. Also, as well, there's a rather big game coming up this weekend on Sunday, isn't there? We play leaders Chelsea, where we have to win to stay in the title race. So a really, really big game. We'll look ahead to that as well. Plus, of course, all the other usual bits and pieces as well. Plus, all your comments as well, any questions that you might have for us as well. So it's all going to come up the other side of this. To Arsenal now, Frida Marnham again inside here looking for a second goal. Oh, she's got a second goal. That seals it. Frida Marnham again. So we've got a slightly depleted panel this week, but we do have Andreas with us as usual, and we will be hearing from Matt and Amar as well via video link as usual. You okay this week, Andreas?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm not bad at all, and I'll try to do my best as Amar and Matt are not here. So, yeah, I'll give my opinion, and I hope we will have interesting discussion.
Yes, I'm sure we will. And I say Matt and Amar have both sent in some videos as well on the various different topics that we're going to be talking about now. I suppose only one place we can really start, of course, that was Wednesday evening, early evening kickoff away at Everton. And although Arsenal got the result that we needed in the end, not a great performance, which we'll talk about, the whole game really was overshadowed, wasn't it, by that another really, really serious injury to one of the Arsenal players this season. It's just mad how we've suffered so much this season with these injury problems. And this one, totally different to the other ones. You know, the previous injuries that we've had have been just maybe players landing awkwardly, mainly, hasn't it, with the ACL injuries. This one was I thought, a really, really bad tackle, an unnecessary tackle, over the ball tackle. They're the sort of tackles that generally result in an injury if you catch the player in the wrong way. And that's exactly what happened. And it was actually, for me, it was worse to see this injury than some of the other ones, because some of the other ones, they weren't contact injuries, really. Although we could see they were bad. When you see a player get tackled like that and go down and need oxygen on the pitch, it seems worse. Obviously, the injury is not going to be worse long term. Of course not. She's not going to be out for anywhere near as long as all the other girls are that's got the ACLs. But it was a horrible tackle. It was a horrible incident to witness. And I know the young player on loan from Chelsea, Aggie Beaver-Jones, she came out with an apology online almost straight after the game. Whether that was her idea, whether the club sort of thought it was a good idea for her to do that. Personally, I didn't feel it was a good thing, because what it led to a lot of unnecessary abuse, because people saw that and obviously they're going to jump on it because she's tweeted something out, and maybe it would have been better to have just left it, said her apologies in private to Leah, and maybe just got on with it. I mean, you know, the one thing that made me kind of not angry so much, but when she said, I'm not that kind of player. Well, I'm sorry, but as soon as you make a challenge like that, you become that type of player, because you've done a challenge like that that's injured a player. And I'm not saying she intended to do it, because she didn't. But it was an unnecessary challenge. She'd lost the ball. She'd overrun the ball. She wasn't going to get it. It was, you know, it was a ridiculous challenge to make. And I don't know. I didn't like it at all. And when you saw the replays of it, the more replays you saw, the worse it looked. And it started to really anger me. I don't agree with any abuse to that player, any player. It's not right. People should not do that. But it was a bad tackle. I suppose fair enough for her to apologise. I didn't think that was necessarily a good idea at that time when everyone was feeling raw about it. But, you know, they made that decision. But yeah, I mean, luckily the injury maybe isn't quite as bad as it could have been. And it seems like Leah might only be out for 6 weeks, which is still 6 weeks too much. But she may make the World Cup on a positive note, which is good, because she should be at the World Cup. You know, Switzerland's captain, very great player, as we know. But again, it just seems strange, isn't it? An on-loan player from Chelsea, a few days before we play Chelsea, does a tackle that puts another one of our best players out of the game. I mean, Andres, what did you make of that tackle? Because it wasn't pretty, was it? Let's be honest.
It was a bad tackle. It was unnecessary. a horrible foul, yes, but it was not intentional, and she didn't want to hurt Leah. So
No.
yeah, these tackles happen in a match, but it was, yeah, it was a bad tackle, and the red card was the right decision. But I think you can't prevent these sort of tackles or fouls from football totally. It's impossible. It happens. Um, the same as mistakes happen. I don't want to apologize this, but um, I think the reaction from Leah was the right one when she made the statement on Instagram that no abuse, no hate should be against Aggie Beaver Jones. This was and unfortunately this was necessary to post it from Leah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's another bad thing. And yeah, you say it was not necessary from Beaver Jones to make her statement, but. We don't know what happened on her account, how much abuse or hate she got, and this is this is also the wrong way. Even if it was a horrible foul, a wrong tackle, and it was, yes, undoubtedly, but no player should be treated with hate or abuse on social media. That's the
Absolutely.
wrong reaction. You can't make a mistake undone when you send hate messages on a Facebook account. So yeah, what should you say? The reaction from both was on needs respect, and especially from Leah, her reaction that she said,
Yeah.
this happens in football. It's the bad part that injuries happen, but don't send abuse or hate messages to this player. Yeah, and on the other side is it was a foul, it was unnecessary tackle, and how could she do this? She must learn from this, and she can't apologize by saying I'm only 19, I'm a young player. She's 19. She's a young adult woman and a professional in football, and so it's her responsibility. She can't excuse by I'm still young.
Yeah.
But as much as we discuss it, we can't change it or make it undone. The injury happened. We will miss Leah for two important matches for the season, and if she makes it to the World Cup, that would be a good development because she turned 30. It will be her last World Cup probably, and she's the captain of her national team. So it would be terrible if she misses this opportunity. So all the best wishes for her, and that the recovery really goes so quick that it's only 6 weeks out. But nevertheless, 6 weeks is a terrible long time to be injured and to be out, and then to have this tournament in front of you, and going into this tournament with 6 weeks without training. So yeah, terrible situation, and it killed our match. It killed the atmosphere. Or yeah, of course, everybody was happy about the 3 points, about the win. But after the match, I had the feeling, okay, we have won. Yeah, it's okay. Uh, Normally, I would have been totally happy, 3 points and 3 points ahead of City. But after the match, it was yeah, okay, 3 points. But another injury, unbelievable. This curse continues. So I don't know what to say more about this injury.
Yeah. I mean, it is unbelievable the number of key players we've lost. We've lost this season, and we'll talk about the Chelsea game a bit later. But to go into a game like that so important without half our team, really half our first choice team, is just incredible. And the fact that the results that we've managed to produce this season, we've mentioned it plenty of times on the show, haven't we? With all the players we've had injured, and to do what we've done this season, yes, we're probably not going to win the WSL. You never know. Miracles happen. We've still got 2 games left to win, and who knows? But we probably aren't going to win the league. We were unlucky in the Champions League. We got the furthest that we've got for 10 years, and we did win the Continental Cup. I mean, amazing effort from everybody. But I agree that the injury it killed the game, because you could see it's always like, isn't it? When one of your teammates suffers a serious injury in a game, especially when there's such a long while in a game to go. We saw it when Viv got injured; it kind of killed that game. We saw it when Leah Williamson got injured a few weeks ago at Man U; it killed that game. And it's so difficult, isn't it, for the players on the pitch to be able to get back the intensity and the level that they had. I mean, it wasn't a great performance anyway. I didn't feel in the first half. We got the 4 goals at the end, all in quite quick succession. Up until then, we'd struggled a bit, hadn't we, to get into the game. Everton played well. They were passing the ball about pretty well. They didn't create too much, but they were making it difficult for us. But in the end, we managed to, the first goal was so important, wasn't it, to get that opening goal. And then we kind of went on a good run, didn't we, for 10 minutes, got 4 goals, and it was game over again for the second week in a row, 4-0 at half time. But yes. Yeah, the second half was tough. But I mean, what did you make of the performance in that first half? Because obviously, we can't blame the injury on the first half performance. I thought we were poor for 30 minutes, really. And then we got the goal and it just settled everybody down, didn't it? And we moved on from there. But I don't know what went wrong with it. We looked very slow, didn't we? We looked a little bit tired, a bit leggy at the beginning of the game. And then finally we got our act together for 10 minutes and it was enough to win the game.
Yeah, but don't forget, Everton is not the worst team in the WSL. They are on, I don't know exactly, 5th or 6th place. So they are a team from mid of the table. So it's not so easy. It was a game away. All the situation in the team with all the injuries. So I wouldn't blame the team for bad performance. It was difficult to come into the match, but on the other side, Everton made mistakes. They gifted us the first goal, and we took it. You must be there when the opponent makes a mistake or a wrong pass. You must be there. You must take the chance, and we did this. So the performance was okay, but. We took our chances and we scored 4 goals in 20 minutes or so. So to have the lead of 4-0 at halftime, that's okay. You can't expect a firework in every match, and especially not at the end of the season when the pressure is so high. When you go into a match and know we must win, we can't lose any points because we have this difficult away match against Chelsea. So we must collect these 3 points to gain the better position against City. I think these are all points, the pressure, the mental situation. So I was satisfied at halftime, being 4-0 up, and the match was won at halftime. And second half, as you said, this injury and seeing another key player stretchered off. This killed our match. This killed all the emotions, and but I think it was in first half when Lotta made this brilliant tackle against another player in the box. Yeah, this was an example how a tackle should be. This was brilliant, and all credits to Lotta. If we remember, 2 or 3 hours before the match, she got the message that her boyfriend Tao had this accident at the Giro d'Italia, and he came to the hospital. I think he needs surgery on broken hip. I don't know whether she knew all the information, but that he had an accident, I'm sure she knew this. And then she played, and she played well. So once again, a proof how strong, how mentally strong this team is, and how they work together to cope with all these negative things that happen. And in second half, for the Everton goal, it was a bad marking in the box. The Everton player, I don't know who scored. She shouldn't have so much time and space to make the header, but and we were 11 against 10 for about 40 minutes. So normally we should score more and not concede one. Yeah, but in the end, it's a comfortable win. We got the 3 points. Our goal difference against City is the better one, and so all in all, let's be satisfied with the win.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, Jonas pretty much said that after the game, didn't he? He said it wasn't the best performance, and we're happy with the win, and we move on and prepare for the next game. But yeah, it wasn't. It was a very disjointed performance. But yeah, you're right about Lotte Ruben-Moy, the fact that she put in that performance again. Despite what she knew about the incident before, she would have known little bits about it, I'm sure, and it must have been on her mind. And the fact that she went out there and played as well as she did, scored a goal as well, which was nice, her first goal of the season. So yeah, it's great that that she was able to do that as well. You're right; it does show that this team, as great as they are at football, and as great a team they are at football, it just shows that they've got that mental strength to be able to deal with adversity. And the togetherness, exactly, and you can see that, that's it's credit to all the girls, of course it is, massively, but it's also credit to Jonas and the coaching staff for instilling that in them as well, because it comes from there, doesn't it? And I think Jonas has been a big part of that. You can see how much they're all in it together, even the ones that aren't always on the pitch. You can see how much it means to them and how much they want the team to be successful, the group to be successful. And it is great to see. And when you see stuff like that going on, yes, we don't like the injuries, and if only we hadn't had all these injuries, where might the season have gone? But what it has done is, at least one thing, the one positive to come out of all these injuries has been the fact that the team have just pulled together so much, haven't they? And I do think that is great. It's been great for this season because it's got us through some really tough times, but also as well going forward, it's going to be a massive positive, isn't it, for the team going forward next season and into the future. If we can keep that strength, mental strength going forward, and obviously get players fit, get some new players coming in, and the future is going to be really, really good, isn't it? When you look at the way we've coped this season, because we're never going to, well, I say that, hopefully we're never going to have a season like this again in terms of bad luck and what have you. I'm hoping we don't. And we've shown that we can overcome these issues. Jonas has spoken about it a lot, and I think they focused a lot on that this season as well. They've had to, and it's worked. It's been brilliant, and let's hope that, I'll say, going forward, we're going to see a lot more of this happening. Terry's in the chat as always. He says, "Good evening, Richard Andreas, international man of mystery." Well, you see that. Little thing that Andreas has done this week. He went to the English Women's FA Cup final on Sunday, and then he was at the German Women's FA Cup final during the week as well. So, international man of mystery, definitely, because he's getting back to all these cup finals, which is great to see, isn't it? And not the result you wanted, of course, in the German final. Not the result we really wanted in the English final either, because Chelsea won and Wolfsburg won, which we didn't really want to happen, did we? But there you go. I suppose that's just the way it is. Was that a good game, the German Cup final? I know Wolfsburg won easily in the end, didn't they?
It was an easy win for Wolfsburg, and even in the first half it was 1-1, but they were the far better team, and Freiburg had one chance and they scored in this one chance, but it was a total difference to see from a top team against a mid-table team, so they were chanceless in the end. And the better cup final was the one at Wembley, and the atmosphere was better there. In Cologne for the German Cup final, the best atmosphere was in the stands where the Freiburg fans were. The green part of the stadium was really quiet. I think the Wolfsburg fans traveled to Cologne and said, "Oh, we're traveling here just to catch our cup again." It was the 9th time in a row that they won the cup, so it's nothing special for them. And I was hoping for Freiburg, but well, so it was Wolfsburg again. But anyway, the experience, 2 cup finals in 4 days, was really interesting. And as I said, the better one, the better atmosphere, the better match was at Wembley. And I think Chelsea deserved the win. The first half, United was better, but they didn't make anything out of their better performance. And Sam Kerr definitely was not the best player, although she was announced as player of the match. But she was once again the player that makes the difference. 68 minutes, they kept her calm, and then she had this one chance, and she scored. And that's it. So she is really one of the best strikers in the world currently. If you like her or not, she makes the difference. And
yeah,
so
she does. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, she does. She does make the difference. Of course, she does. She gets goals at big moments in big games, doesn't she? She's done it constantly, and that is a top player. That's what top players do, don't they? They can do nothing for 90 minutes. Like when we played them at the Emirates, Chelsea, when she didn't touch the ball for 89 minutes, and then she scores an equaliser at the end, an important goal, and that's what the big players do. And she did it again. I mean, you kind of felt that goal coming, actually, didn't you? Before Chelsea scored. I mean, Man U had the better of the first half, but you could sense. I said at half time, actually, Man U are going to regret them chances they've missed, and Chelsea will end up probably winning. And of course, you could sense the goal coming before it did. And yeah, it was a good cross, a good finish, and that proved to be the difference. And maybe I think that's where we are in the WSL, really, aren't we? I think you've got Chelsea are the finished article, aren't they? Clearly, they've been a settled team. Yes, they've got some new players, but they've still got that settled kind of team, haven't they? And you can see that they always find a way to win. Man U, up and coming side a little bit, aren't they? They've really pushed on this season, but they're still not quite there, are they? Man City always seem to be there or thereabouts, but never quite able to go that step most of the time, do they? And in us, of course, who I think we are the nearest to Chelsea, I think, overall. But it might not reflect that in the league this season. We'll have to see what happens at this weekend. But
the subs overall difference. Emma brought Sophie Ingel and Pernille Harder, and it was fantastic assist from Harder. And I think they made the difference. And when you see the squad depth from Chelsea, that's the difference why they win the titles. For their match on Wednesday, Emma changed on 7 positions, and due to the cup final, and she still could field 11 internationals, and then bring the subs from the bench. This always makes the difference. That's why they probably win the title, why they won the FA Cup 3rd time in a row, and that's one point we must learn from this season. We must have a bigger squad, more squad depth, not only having 24 players, but you need 22, 24 international quality players that you can change, that you can rest your players, and that's what Chelsea does. That's why they are the best in the country, unfortunately. But we must learn from this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, their squad is the difference. There's no doubt about that. Even if they had suffered the injuries that we have this season, they still would have probably had enough in their squad to have still gone on and been successful. And we've been successful, but they would have still gone on probably and still been a team to have beaten, even if they'd lost 4 or 5 of their key players, because of this, like you said, they've got the players to come on. I mean, making 7 changes. If we made 7 changes from one game to the next, we'd be struggling, wouldn't we, to win a game? Let's be honest, we would, because our squad hasn't got that depth. And that is, you're right, that's something we need to work on over the summer. We need to work on going forward. We need to improve the depth in the squad. And hopefully, if we can get that right, we'll have a great chance, because you can see what a great lot of players that we've got. The group that we've got are fantastic. We just need they need added to, don't they? We need extra strength and quality if we're going to really, really compete. Terry says, obviously going back to the challenge, he says, to be fair, I didn't think it looked that bad at first, but when you saw it again, it was horrible. She definitely deserves to be sent off. Yeah, she did. I mean, I sort of said that she was given a yellow card initially, and I said when we saw the replay, it's like, that should be a red card all day long. That should be a red card. And the referee, whether or not she was told by the linesman, I think it seemed like she maybe was, and decided to give the red card. It was the right decision. And I think sometimes, I hope she didn't just give the red card because of the seriousness of the injury, because sometimes that can overshadow the tackle. But the tackle deserved a red card on its own, regardless, because it was bad. We've said that. We know that. We've got Magnificent Jaffa in the chat here, and he says, my favourite people, hope you guys are doing well. We hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Good to see you. That's what we want to see. Terry says, good evening to Jaffa as well. Jafar says there, I feel sorry for Leo. Yeah, of course, we all do. But I don't think that tackle was intentional. The criticism the Everton player got is just disgrace. It's nice that Leah came out and made a statement. Yeah, you're right. It is, it wasn't intentional. I'm not saying it was intentional. She didn't intend to hurt her, absolutely not. But it was an unnecessary tackle to make. When you're overstretching for the ball, it was over the top. It was unnecessary. And, yes, any abuse is wrong, and that shouldn't happen. People need to have a look at themselves and say what makes you want to send someone abuse. It's part of the game. Tackling is part of the game. We don't want to get rid of tackling, but that wasn't a nice tackle at all. And the right outcome was the red card, and unfortunately it means Leah's going to be missing for the last part of this season, and potentially the World Cup. But there you go. Jeffo says, I felt that the Everton player, she was crying when she came out. It was her first red card of her career. I don't know. You see, what I felt was she didn't start crying until the red card. She wasn't upset because she made the tackle. She seemed, okay, I'm not saying she was happy about it, but she seemed okay. And then the red card came, and then she got upset. It's like, if you were really upset about the tackle, you would have been upset at the time, regardless of whether you got a red card or not. So it seemed like the red card upset her more than the fact that she'd done that tackle and injured a player. Maybe that was the impression it was. Maybe that's not true, but that was just the impression I got from seeing it on the pitch. But anyway, Reggie says there, Kim and Walty, massive boots to fill in midfield. Yeah, I mean, well, that's our whole midfield, isn't it? And even Leah Williamson, who could have stepped in and done a job there, isn't available either. So we're going to talk about the Chelsea game a little bit later on as well, and the selection that we might have to make, the team selection. Jafar says that this season has been painful to watch, especially with injuries. Yeah, that's why it's been great to watch, because of the adversity that we've overcome, but it's been painful in terms of seeing every single good player get injured at some stage and missing large chunks of the season. It's been incredible, really. Terry says, these Gooner girls must be cream crackered with the amount of effort they have put in this season. They should feel very proud of themselves. Yeah, I mean, they're going to deserve the break in the summer, aren't they? When the season's finished in a couple of weeks' time, they deserve a break. Or next week, they deserve a break. And they have done well. You're absolutely right. They deserve... I think we all are proud of them, aren't we? Because they deserve that. Jeffo says that, Andreas, you're right. The mentality of these players is just unbelievable. I really believe with the full squad that we would have won the league this season, but even reached the Champions League final. Yeah, I feel for the goals. No, you're absolutely right. We'll never know, will we, where the season may have gone without the injuries. It's impossible to speculate. I'm sure we all think that we could have won at least one more trophy than the one that we won, potentially. But, let's hope next season we can bounce back and we can do it. Terry says there, to be fair, teams of old would have fell apart in the past, but this team have been like the Three Musketeers, all for 1 and 1 point. Exactly, yeah. You're right, yeah. It would have been easy for the team to have fallen apart. With once we got to, losing Beth was obviously bad, and then losing Viv so close. A lot of teams, that would have been enough to send some teams over the top. But then to lose the other players that we've lost since as well, it is incredible what they've done. Jafar says Andreas is a legend. Indeed, Andreas is a legend. Absolutely. Terry says, all this fame since being a top panelist on here, and he's getting invited everywhere. Andreas will be meeting the king soon. Still not to worry. You have to take the good with the bad. Well, you're not our king, hopefully. But anyway, Bongo Goodness says, you mean Chelsea is the nearest to us? Well, okay, yeah, it's a different way of putting it. Yeah, Chelsea's the nearest to us, but unfortunately, at the minute they are top, aren't they? And we're kind of trying to catch them. So, and they've been top last few years. So we're the team doing the chasing, aren't we? But anyway, we can only do what we can do. Pauline says there, I don't know what that's all about. Nancy Reagan and Paul Menia. I don't know if we really want to be going down that route, do we really, particularly? But anyway, thank you for the comment. Now, we can't have our normal panelists in the studio, but we, as always, we got a nice video from them. So this is Amar, first of all, and this is his thoughts on the Leah Walty injury situation.
Yeah, as for the injury to Leo, yeah, what can you say? I don't think you can blame too much for Aggie Beaver-Jones. He just went in too much on a tackle. It was a shame, caught her, but the ankle looked nasty. But thankfully, we know now that it's not an ACL injury, which we feared. And yeah, she should be back for the World Cup. What an integral player she's been to this team. I mean, you will struggle to name many better. If there are many better defensive midfielders that just work the way she does, off the ball, on the ball, so calm and composed. What a player. I mean, one of my favourite of all time. And, there's no one quite like Wally. She's just unique in every sense of the word. And she'll miss the last 2 games. Will be a shame. I know people say this club is cursed, but thankfully it's not another serious knee injury. And we look forward to having her back next season, signing a new contract. Where else would you rather be? I mean, again, you'll struggle to probably name, as I said, and many defensive-minded midfielders are better than her, but we wish her a speedy recovery, and thankfully, as we know now, she should be fit for the World Cup. So, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I mean, she should be fit for the World Cup. We can't guarantee she will be because, as Andrea said before, with no training ahead of the World Cup, it's going to be difficult, isn't it, to be match ready. I've got a feeling she'll probably be in the squad. She'll be training with the squad, and she may be, if they progress through the competition, she may be able to play a part later on. Whether she's going to start in the first game, probably not, if we're honest. But let's see. The good news is she's, it isn't as serious as it might have been. And that's the blessing that we've got. But unfortunately, it doesn't really help us for the last 2 games because she can't play in them. And we could have really, really done with her in the team. But unfortunately, these things happen. It's been a mixed couple of weeks for Leah. She was ill the week before for the Brighton game. She then signed her new contract, and then she gets injured in the Everton game. So it's been a bit up and down week for Leah, hasn't it? But let's all hope and pray that she speedy recovery and she'll be back as soon as possible, and hopefully she can play in the World Cup, because that's every player's kind of ambition, isn't it? And as you said before, could well be her last World Cup. So it'd be a real shame, wouldn't it, if she can play a part in that, because it's what players really look forward to, isn't it? The opportunity, because it doesn't come around very often, every 4 years, and if you miss one, you might not get another chance, because your country might not qualify for start off, so you can't even guarantee they'll be there next time. But yeah, let's hope she's fit for that. Matt sent us a video about Leah. Matt was at the game actually, so he saw it from a slightly different angle as well, because he was in the stadium at the time. So this is what Matt said about Leah Walters' injury.
Hi all, hope you're okay. Another week means another load of videos or trying to be there. Unfortunately, I don't know whether or not I'm actually going to be there tonight, so doing this as a bit of a precaution. So first and foremost, I've got to say the most obvious thing. I hope Leah Walters is okay. It's just come out today that she will be out for 6 weeks, so there's a chance that she can make the World Cup, albeit some part. If I'm honest, the tackle that happened from Aggie Beever-Jones, it was reckless. She knows that, the players know that. I think a lot of the emotion of rage coming from the players as well came into it. A lot of the players were trying to sort themselves out. You can see it a little bit on the show itself, but as soon as that went down in the stadium itself, you could hear the screams from Leah. The fact that Caitlin rushed over was by her head, trying to talk her through it, making sure that she was one step away from her. It was great to see. And it's so much that it's caused so many issues, and you're hearing things about don't abuse her, this, that, and the other. I can already hear what everyone else is thinking, but it's a reckless challenge. Originally, the referee wasn't actually going to put a card out. Only turns out that the assistant referee pushed for the red card. That's apparently what happened. I couldn't see this because there were so many people in the way that I didn't actually see many of the instances, many of the goals as well. So it was just they need to sort that out as well at Women's Park.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Matt's not the tallest, I suppose if he gets a couple of people standing in front of him, he might struggle to see especially if they're Andreas's height. Don't stand behind Andreas at a match, Matt. You might see a little bit more. But no, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate you didn't get to see some of the incidents in the game, because there were a lot of incidents happened in the game. But no, I mean, again, obviously we all echo that, don't we? I hope that Leah's going to recover quickly, and we don't. I'm certainly not blaming the Aggie Beever-Jones for the tackle. It was an unnecessary tackle. It was a bad tackle, but it is part of football. And yeah, it's just an unfortunate thing. But yeah, it was a horrible thing to see. And I say, seeing the replays as well, it did make it worse. I agree with what Terry said in the chat, that looking at it, first of all, you thought, oh, that's a bit of a bad challenge. And you see the replay and you're like, wow, that is actually really, really, really bad. But anyway, it's done now. We can't change it. And Leah's got to recover, and I'm sure she will. And she'll come back stronger. And we look forward to seeing her playing again. So obviously that overshadowed the game quite significantly. And luckily this time, the Leah Williamson injury a few weeks ago at Man United was early in the game, and it meant that we wasn't able to get a result in the game in the end. At least this time, the positive thing was we were already 4-0 up. The game was won, and at least it didn't deny us points as it had before. So I suppose we need to be try and look on the bright side of it if we can. And I suppose, at least we won the game. The game was already won, and it was fine in that sense. But yeah, very, very bad. Amar also gave us his thoughts on the actual game itself, which we haven't talked that much about because the injury kind of overshadowed it, and it wasn't a great performance. But let's hear what Amar had to say about the actual game.
Yeah, so hi guys, hope you're well. I know it's not the best place to do it, I know, but yeah. It was a good win over Everton the other day, wasn't it? It took a while to get going, but ultimately blew them away, those 4 goals. So the high press certainly worked a treat, and yeah, we got the result we wanted. 4 goals, could have had more. Great to see Caitlin playing well again. It's like she's never been away. Oh, what a player she is, what she brings to the team. So great to have her back, and I wish she's made. It's great to see Steph playing well as well. I think the whole team contributed, and yeah, another banger from Katie as well. Great to see Lotta and getting on the score sheet as well. They all played really well, and yeah, slightly marred by the injury, which I'll speak about soon. But no, I think we played well, despite the fact that Jonas interestingly said that, you expected more from this side, and we didn't play particularly well. But no, it's a pleasing performance. In the end, they were too strong again for an Everton side. Only slight downer being that they failed to keep the clean sheet. But we'll take the 3 points and we move on. And yeah, I wasn't far off with my prediction, which was great too. So.
Yeah, it was good. He was quite close to his prediction. Wayne says there, all 3 of our LW players are at injury. Well, apart from Lotta Ruben Woe, who's kind of LW, so let's hope she's not next, because that would be terrible, wouldn't it? But no, you're right. The other 3, all of them are injured now, which is incredible, really, when you think of all the injuries that we've had as well. It is ridiculous. Terry says, I'm so glad they didn't let you hear the screams. It looked bad enough without the sound. Yeah, I mean, it did. And luckily as well, they didn't go over the top on replays, did they? They showed a couple of replays, and then they kind of thought better of it and sort of stopped showing them, which was probably the right thing to do. We saw what had happened. It wasn't great, and that was enough. And let's, get it dealt with, get her off the pitch, which they did, fairly quickly in the circumstances, I suppose, and managed to get on with it all. But yeah, it must have been bad to have actually been in the stadium. I mean, I've been at games before when a player's got a bad injury. It's not nice to see, is it? In the flesh, it's not great at all. Terry says, "Is Amber at McDonald's at his birthday party?" He's at work. He was at work. So yeah, I think it's a hospital actually. But anyway, or a clinic or something like that, isn't it? So it's not McDonald's, no. But it looked a bit like McDonald's actually. You're right. It did look a little bit like McDonald's actually. But yeah, and also as well, I say obviously Matt as well wanted to talk about the game against Everton as well. So let's get Matt's thoughts on the Everton game as well.
So I've kind of had to just basically split these videos up as much as possible. The game itself, 4 goals there, great goals there. Katie McCabe with the pick of the bunch. Caitlin Ford in the right place at the right time to score 2 great goals. One of them being a rebound from Stina, and then you have Lotta Wubben-Moy with the free kick from Katie McCabe, and it was just a nice and easy game. Would I say that was a 4-0, 4-1 game in the end? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. There seems to be a problem with Everton at the moment where they just seem to be on the beach. They know that they're not getting relegated. They know that they can finish it. They've tried to finish as high as possible. They've lost a lot of players in Gabby George and Jess Park, who's now at Man City. There's a chance that she could make the World Cup for England as well. But it's difficult to say how can Everton move on. Aggie Beaver-Jones being sent off. That means that's their last appearance before returning back to Chelsea. I generally do not know what to make of it, because the things that I've heard, the things that I've seen, it's just, I've heard so much outrage, I've heard so much issues that people have taken into account with it, everything that's come about because of that incident. But I want to really talk about the game, and unfortunately, it killed the game. And because it killed the game, it almost felt like, right, let's just go in after half time, and the game's got on and completely done. The fact that Rafaela came off at half time just to give her a little bit of rest was a great decision. The fact that we saw Freya once again come on, the fact we saw Katrina come on, the fact that we saw Gio come on a little bit more earlier than usual as well, was great to see. Caitlin ended up going off as well. So again, time management is doing. So Jonas is doing a really good thing at the moment with the substitutions.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to maybe mention Caitlin Ford actually, because obviously she's just back from injury. She was in great form, wasn't she, before she got injured? And obviously we missed her for those games that she was missing, particularly the semi-final. And it was good to see her back. I thought she looked a little bit rusty at times in the game, but she was in the right place for both the goals, wasn't she? The first one, a bit of a missed kick. I looked at, didn't it? She didn't get hold of it properly, but it bobbled in off the post. And then the second one, she was just in the right place to follow up after Stina's header had been saved. So it was good for Caitlin, wasn't it, to be back fit again and also scoring goals, which was great, wasn't it? Because she maybe doesn't quite score enough, does she, usually? So it was nice for her to get a couple.
Good for her to be back and scoring, and I think her workload was again really great. Normally we say she's working so hard for the team and she does not score enough goals, but she's not the number 9. She's not the one responsible for scoring, and this time she was at the right place 2 times, and I think that this is good for her. And all in all, you can say she returned from her injury break, and she's back in great form. So she showed how important she is. And one thing I said after the match is, if we only had Caitlin back for the Champions League second leg, then I think we would have reached the final, because she's so important for the team. Normally with her workload, and this time with 2 goals, so it's great. And what Matt said, it's good that some players came in. Gio had a few more minutes this time, and as far as I remember, she had a good chance when she hit the post. I think Gio needs a little bit more time than others that came in, but she is developing, and let's see how she develops next season. The more minutes she gets, the better she seems to be integrated in the team, or in the match plan.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, the fact that we've had the injuries has given some of these younger players opportunities that they may not ordinarily have got. So it's been good on that sense as well, and hopefully they'll benefit from that. I mean, Bongo Guna makes a good point there. So have you seen Michelle Agamang playing in the under-17s? Looks very strong. Yeah, she does, and that's an example, isn't it, of a player who's had some experience playing in the WSL this season, had some experience playing in the Champions League this season, and she's playing back an under-17s level, and she looks a level above, because she's got that extra experience, and hopefully that's going to stand her in good stead in her career going forward, hopefully at Arsenal, because I think that's been real big. It's been a big season for her, hasn't it, in her development? And I think she's maybe she could have had a few more minutes in the WSL. I would have thrown her a few games she's been on the bench. She didn't come on. I'd have maybe thrown her on for the last 10 minutes in some games. Because we haven't had really an alternative for Stina because of all the injuries that we've had, and sometimes it might have been I'd have maybe given her a few more minutes, but she's done well, and she's doing really well at the minute. Absolutely brilliant. And they're in the final, aren't they? The Lionesses, the under-17s, and she's been a big part of that. So I'm sure she's got a really big future ahead. We'll see. Jeffar says this season should be a lesson for Jonas. This summer he needs to address key positions with at least 2 top players. Yeah, we said that before. Next season is massive for us. We need a depth in the team if we want to win the league. Yeah, we do, absolutely. We said that earlier. We need more depth in the squad. There's no doubt about that. And even if we don't get the injuries, we can rotate, we can rest players, we can make changes in game and stuff like that. That's what you need. It's what Chelsea do. And if we want to compete and challenge and win all the trophies, or challenge for all the trophies, we need to have that as well, don't we? Terry says, I wouldn't mind Jess Park at Arsenal. Wayne agrees. He says, yeah, Jess Park is a cracking little player. She's a good player, Jess Park, and I think she's going to be a really good player. The player I actually would like Arsenal to sign from a WSL is actually Katie Robinson. I think she's really good as well, from Brighton. Plays out on the left-hand side. She's a good little player. I wouldn't mind her either, actually. I think she's decent. Jeff Otter says there, will you guys touch on Chloe Lacasse? Rumours say we've closed the deal to sign her. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I've been hearing that. I mean, what do you think about that, Andreas? Chloe Lacasse, obviously, she's got a lot of goals in her career. She's getting on the wrong side of 30 now, but she could be, certainly as a short-term signing, she could be a good player to get in the team. Maybe, certainly she can score goals. Do you think she'll be a good signing if that's true? If we have got her for next season?
Yeah, I read this too. That we agreed the deal. She scored, I think, 21 goals in the Portuguese league. So it's a different level, Portuguese league and the WSL. But anyway, she's international experience for Canada, and what we need is to have the possibility to rotate in our attacking line, to give Stina a rest. And, if we can bring another striker who is good for scoring goals, then why not? Of course, she's 29 or 30 already. I don't know. So she's not the investment for the future, but you can't build a team only on young players. You need experienced players, and sometimes you have to sign players at their late 20s or when they're 30. We signed Rafa. She's also 30, 31. She never played in a competitive league. She played in the Chinese league, and look what a great signing she is. So and Chloe Lacasse, we know that Jonas wanted her in the winter transfer window. So I'm sure she's a player that Jonas is fond of, and he said to the club, let's try again to sign her. So this also gives me hope that she fits in his thoughts, in his match plan, and she can be she can be a signing that helps us immediately. And if we get a striker that scores goals, then let's bring her in.
No, absolutely. I agree 100%. This season, we've at certain parts of this season, we've been so desperate for another option up front. Not that Stina's had a bad season, because she hasn't. We love Stina, as you know, but just in games, Stina's had to play a lot more minutes than ordinarily she would have played, because there wasn't another option. And I think having another option is what we need. You need to have options in all positions. So she's got a great goal scoring record, Chloe Lacasse. Yes, it is, as Andrea said, it's a lower league, a lower level, you have to say. She's got a lot of goals in, but I think Rafaela is a great example of a player that hadn't played at a top level domestically and has come into the WSL and been magnificent. And maybe Chloe Lacasse could have a similar impact. Who knows? I mean, it is the fact that Jonas wanted to sign her before. He obviously likes her as a player. He obviously knows he can work with her, and he knows that she'll fit in with what he wants. That to me is a good sign. If your manager wants a certain player, the club should do what they can to get that player, because you've got to back your manager. Otherwise, there's no point in having your manager there, is it? If you're not going to give them the players they want. So if Jonas wants her, then I'm all in favour of bringing her in. And yes, a short-term deal. Obviously, she's not going to be here for 6, 7, 8 years, is she? But that's fine. She can come and do a job for a couple of seasons, help us out, get some goals in important games, and it'll be well worth it. And who knows? She might end up being a really, really good signing. She might end up coming in, playing regular, and scoring 25, 30 goals for us. Who knows? But I would certainly, I would welcome a signing like that, as long as it's not the only forward signing that we make. Then that's great. She should be one of a few that's going to come in. Yeah. I would welcome her, definitely, because I think you can't get enough goal scorers in your squad. You can't get enough of them, and she is a goal scorer. Jodie Taylor's come in late on because, again, lack of options, alternatives up front, and she's come in. Yes, she hasn't scored yet, but she's contributed well to the team. And I think Chloe Lacasse, a little bit younger, can possibly contribute more next season and beyond. So yeah, I'll be happy with that if that is true. We have signed her. I'd be pretty happy with that. I wouldn't say no at all. Archduke of Austria is in the chat here. He says, "Hi guys, nice to meet you, Andreas." Yeah, it's always nice to meet Andreas. Archduke is Austria is always generally in the watch-alongs. He always comes in the watch-along, so it's good that he's here tonight as well. Jeff R says, in my opinion, I think we should. I think have to wait for Russo and go big on her, especially with her contract running out at United. Lacasse would have been a plan B if we missed out on Russo. Well, no, see, I don't see any reason why. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a massively big financial investment in Lacasse because of her age, potentially. So why can't we get both of them and have that as our three strikers next season? Wouldn't that be great options to have? You can rest and rotate. We've got options off the bench. I mean, well, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? I mean, that's gonna. I mean, Chelsea will look at that front three, those three striking options, and they'll be wow. You know what I mean? That is three good goal scorers there. You know, that's 50 goals between them three. If they played every game, not that they would all play enough minutes to get 50 goals, but that's 50 goals there, isn't it, between them three? You know what I mean? What great three strikers that would be. So let's get both of them. Let's get them both if we can. You know, Russo, if her contract's up, she's not going to cost anything in a fee, is she? So we were prepared to break the record, transfer record for her. So I'm sure we'll go back in if she doesn't sign a contract. 100% we'll go back in for her. And if Lacasse is already a done deal, that's two strikers in. Brilliant. That's what we need. Now we need to get some midfielders in, one or two defenders, and we're sorted, aren't we? We're set for next season, and Chelsea will be looking over their shoulder thinking, oh, hang on a minute. I mean, they've got a few early deals done by the look of it, so we need to get in there, don't we? And get that done. Terry says Stina looks more dangerous second half of the season since playing near the penalty area rather than drifting out wide. Yeah, she's got a lot more goals. She's got a little bit more confidence, I think, more than anything. NA says Lacasse is a left winger. Well, I don't know if she's a left winger. I mean, her goal scoring record has been great, hasn't it? I mean, yeah, she's more on the left hand side, but I wouldn't say she's a left winger. She's more of a forward, isn't she? She's a forward player. But let's, I suppose. I don't know, see, because Caitlin Ford plays on the left-hand side. I wouldn't call Caitlin Ford a left winger, really. I mean, she's not, is she? She's a left-sided forward. And I think Lacasse would be that similar type of player, wouldn't she? She'd be a forward at one of the options that we've got. So, but let's wait and see if we get her first, because we don't know we are. You know, it's rumours at the minute. But let's see what happens. It's going to be a big summer. We know that anyway. And we'll look at the transfers a little bit later on, maybe after the season's finished. And the transfer window opens, we'll have a little more look into that as things move on. But it's exciting, isn't it? You know, any player that we can bring in that scores goals, I'm all in favour of. Let's get a few more. Yes, we need some other areas as well. We said midfield, we definitely need. Jeffo says Diani from PSG would be my dream signing. I can't believe PSG are letting her contract run down. Yeah, she's a good player as well. Very good player. Saw her playing the Euros in the summer. Very good player, yeah. So another option, but we're not going to buy everybody, are we? Let's be honest. We're not going to buy everybody. We're going to, hopefully we'll buy the players in the right positions that we need. And let's hope that that's what we do. And the next season we'll come back even stronger and firing on all cylinders, and who knows where it might take us. And this season's not over yet either. Let's be honest. It's not quite over yet, is it? Terry says Lacasse is Jesus, but with goals. Yeah, that's probably a good way of describing it. Yeah, she probably is like a goal scoring Jesus who actually scores a lot of goals. But anyway, let's wait and see what happens with that one. But yeah, I'll be all in favour, definitely. Now, of course, as I said, this season's still not over yet. There are 2 games left, and one of them on Sunday is actually it's always the biggest game of the season, isn't it? Arsenal against Chelsea. It's been the biggest game of the season for a number of years. We haven't always come out on top in those games, but this season we've played Chelsea 3 times already. Won 1, lost 1, and drew 1. So it's been pretty evenly split, but we should have definitely won 2 of them, potentially even all 3, because I think we've played well in all 3 of those games against Chelsea this season. We've been a little bit unfortunate. The league game, we know what happened, gifted them that stupid goal at the end to get them a draw. In the FA Cup, we missed lots of chances. We maybe could have won that game, end up losing 2-0. And then the most recent game, though, that's going to have stung Emma, though, isn't it? That cup final, the Conti Cup final, when they scored early on, Sam Kerr again, but we came back and fully deserved to win that final. We could have won it a little bit, few more goals as well that day. We were brilliant, wasn't we? So obviously we've got a different team now, haven't we? Because since that cup final, Kim's out, Leah Williamson's out, Leah Volti's out. It's a totally different team. Laura Wainwright is out. So but we've shown enough about us in recent weeks to suggest that I think we can go to Chelsea on Sunday and give them a game. Definitely, they're going to know they've been in a game. And, they've had a few a few teams against them recently that they've kind of wiped teams away, haven't they? They scored 7 against Everton, wasn't it? And they scored, was it 6 against Leicester, or was it the other way around? And they scored 4 against West Ham the other night. And, they've maybe had easier games. And I know they overcome Man United in a cup final, which was a good performance in the end. But I've seen nothing from Chelsea this season. And when we've played them in the other games I've seen, to make me think go in there that we need to be worried about them. Yes, we know they're a good side, but we can go there, I feel, with confident that we can pick up a result. I mean, are you fairly, I know that the team, we're going to talk about the team in a minute who we would pick, but are you fairly confident, Andreas, for Sunday that we can go there and give them another game? Because I'm sure we will.
After the cup final, Chelsea versus Man United, I was confident that we have a good chance at Kings Meadow. Because, as said, Chelsea has shown nothing what must us to be afraid of. But the situation has changed with that we lost Leah on Wednesday, and we know how important she is for our midfield. And when I look at our squad, I don't see a holding midfielder, and this is really difficult as we see how many goals Chelsea scored in the last matches. And in the difficult matches, they are not brilliant. They are not the team that you say, oh, look at the wonderful football they are playing. No, but they are ruthless, and they take their chances. So and we can't compare both teams to the Conti Cup final. It's totally different because we lost 4 key players since then. You named them all, and Chelsea got Pernil Harder back. So their attacking line is stronger than it was early March, and our squad is weaker than it was. So the situation is difficult. It's an away match, but on the other side, we have to get confidence from the way we performed against Chelsea this season. And the home match, we were totally better team. We outplayed them. We should have won this match. We deserved the win, and it was this one single moment at the 88th minute with the perfect cross and the perfect header. We deserved the win in the Conti Cup final, and we had also a very competitive performance in the FA Cup at Kings Meadow. So I'm sure our team is going with confidence in this match. And the other situation is if we will be able to keep the match level, let's say it's 0-0 or 1-1 after 60, 70 minutes, I'm sure that Chelsea will be, they will take the draw. Because if they get 1 point against us, they will still, even if United wins, they will still be level with them at points. But the goal difference, maybe it's equal, but Chelsea plays against Reading on the last day. So they know this, and they know that they will be able to score a lot of goals against Reading. So 1 point against us would be enough for Chelsea. If we can keep the match level 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, and then after 70 minutes or so, I think there will be an agreement that okay, let's not risk too much. And for us, 1 point could be enough. It depends on the later result in the Manchester derby. They are playing on Sunday evening. I think we are all United fans on Sunday evening. If they win, then we are through, no matter how we.
No. You see, I've still got this feeling that we can win the league. For us to win the league, we have to beat Chelsea. Man City have to beat Man United, and then Chelsea have got to drop points on the last day, and we've got to beat Aston Villa about 5-0. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Okay.
But yeah, realistically, it probably won't.
If we win at Kings Meadow, okay, then City might win the Manchester derby. I have nothing against it, but no, normally the title is between Chelsea and Man United, and for us it's to secure the third place. So I hope that United beats City, and we can have the last match against Villa without any nerves, and not a must win in the last day. It will be a tough match at Kings Meadow, but we don't have to be afraid, even if we have only 11 or 12 players and a few kids and goalkeepers on the bench. The players that we can field, they are a strong team, and they are a team. That might be the difference. And let's hope we don't concede in the first 3 or 4 minutes as we did at the Conti Cup. This will be difficult to come back in an away match. But I say we will take a draw there. And if you ask for my prediction, I say this will be 2-2. We take 1 point, and let's see.
I mean, in the overall scheme of things, a draw away at Chelsea in the league is a good result. We haven't got too many points there in recent years, have we? I don't think we've scored there since that 5-0 win about 4 or 5 years ago. So, we're due a result there. We're due a win there. We haven't won there for a long time, and it would be what a great chance this would be to get that win. If we fail to win, then we can't win the league on the last day. There's no chance that we can. Let's try and win the game. I said a few weeks ago, when I think after we'd lost to Man United or to Man City, one of them two, we had to win every game. Let's just win every league game left, and we've managed to do that since. And I want us to carry on and finish with these 2 wins. And as Jonas said again the other day, if we win our last 2 games, we're going to finish in the highest possible position that we can. Whether that's first, second, or third, we're going to finish in the highest position possible if we win those 2 games. And that's what I want to see us do. And I'm sure we'll give everything on Sunday to get the right result. They'll give everything. You know that they will. It's just that, is it going to be enough against the Chelsea team at the moment? That at this point in the season, Chelsea very rarely drop points today. Very, very rarely do you see them in the run into a title when they know that they're this close to winning it now. That they very, very rarely drop points. So we know how tough it's going to be. But we've got nothing to fear. Every time I've watched Chelsea this season, I keep thinking they're not as good as they were. They don't seem to be quite as good. They're conceding a lot more goals. I don't know. They're missing Millie Bright, obviously, at the back. A big miss for them. But obviously it's going to be tough, isn't it? We've got so many players missing. I mean, the midfield is the big problem, isn't it? We know now the midfield is a problem with Leah Walty out, with Kim out. It's going to be a mix and match, really, isn't it? I mean, who do you think is going to play in the midfield on Sunday? Who do you think is going to start there? Because we've got midfield players, but no one who can really do that defensive job naturally.
Yeah, probably. Vic Pelova has to do it. Maybe a mixture of Pelova and Frida Manum. And then Catherine Kuhl has to come in, I think, and this will be our midfield. I don't know. It's difficult to say. Or we are playing with a back 3, and Steph comes in, and Steph and Noel will be the more offensive part in the midfield. Yeah, it's the position of the holding midfielder is the problem, because we know that Vic Pelova she's settled very fast in the team, and on every position she was playing, she performed really well, but she's not the natural number 6 in a team. But who is? There's no holding midfielder in the squad, so it must be shared between Vic Pelova and Frida Manum, I think. And then this is how I would start. I don't think that the back 3 is the right solution against Chelsea, because if they come with Harder, with Kerr, Guru Wrighton, they can bring in Jessie Fleming. There's Erin Cuthbert. This will be decisive if we can stop Erin Cuthbert from creating chances, and Guru Wrighton. If you just imagine the names, you see the danger that's coming. Yeah, difficult to have the right lineup. We must try, and as you said, I'm absolutely sure that the girls will give their all, and every player will give 100% at least.
And that's all you can ask for, isn't it? We can't, we can't ask for miracles. That they can only give exactly 100% that they can give, and I'm sure they will definitely do that. And if it's enough, it'll be brilliant. I mean, I do think the 3 at the back is what we're going to start with, because that's how we've started all the games since Leah Williamson was injured. In fact, we even started 1 or 2 before. And I think that's the way that Jonas is going to go with this game. I really do. I think he'll go to 3 at the back with Jen, Rafaela, and obviously Lotta. Then, you know what I might be tempted to do? I mean, I think Victoria Pelova is probably going to start in that number 6 role because she is probably the most physical player in our midfield, isn't she? She can win tackles, she can win the ball, and she'll get stuck in. And I think maybe it might be her. Frida can as well. I would be tempted actually to maybe put Katie McCabe in a more defensive midfield position because what she's going to do is she's going to give everything, isn't she? And, she likes to tackle, as we know. The only risk is if you play her there, she might end up getting too many yellow cards because she's bound to commit a few fouls getting in that midfield. But I wouldn't feel it would be a bad move to maybe put her in there. Now Steph Catley's fit, she can play on that left-hand side with Caitlin Ford because those two link up well anyway. And maybe put Katie McCabe, maybe have Katie McCabe, Victoria and Pelova in those two more holding positions, and then Frida Marlon can get further forward again, which is where she's so effective. And then we can have Caitlin and obviously Stina further up the pitch. And I don't know, maybe that might work. Terry says Super Jen up front for the last 15 minutes and go for the well. I think if it's 0-0 or 1-1 with 75 minutes, 80 minutes played, stick her up there for 5 minutes. We saw how effective she was against Wolfsburg. Why not? Obviously without Millie Bright at the back for Chelsea, I think in the air they could be vulnerable a little bit because it's Millie Bright that deals with all of that usually, isn't it? So there's an opportunity there maybe for from set pieces and whatever. Jaffa says that Chelsea game will be won in the midfield. Yeah, probably. He says I think Jonas will go with Cool and the inexperience will play a massive part on that. I do feel. I mean, I like Katarina Cole, and I think she's got a lot of promise. But at the moment, she is looking. Her inexperience has been showing a lot, hasn't it, in some of the games sometimes, especially defensively. I'm not sure if she'll start the game personally. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I would be tempted to put Katie McCabe in a more defensive role in midfield. That's what I would look at doing. I'm not sure Jonas is going to go too far away from what we've seen recently. We had to cope in the second half in midfield against Everton. We had no time to work on that, really, did we? But then Leah Waltey, she missed the Brighton game the week before, and we set out a good midfield, didn't we? With Victoria and Frida sitting a little bit deeper, and that kind of worked, didn't it? So, yes, Chelsea aren't Brighton, let's be honest. We know that, and that's a different issue. But we need to play the best game that's suited to us as well. Yes, we need to look out for Chelsea's strengths and try to counteract that, but we need to, with the players that we've got available, we need to play to our strengths as well, don't we? With what we've got, and we're going to have to try to find a way in the midfield. I'd maybe try and pack the midfield out and maybe leave Stina up on her own to hold the ball up and do what she does. That might be something certainly early in the game to deny Chelsea the space to knock the ball around and get it out wide, because like you said, Guru Wrighton out on one wing is very dangerous, isn't she? Penina Harder on the other wing is going to be dangerous, and we need to stop that supply, really, don't we? Sam Kerr has got a great goal scoring record against us, and we've said it before that for some reason Leah Williamson seems to struggle against Sam Kerr. We've seen it in Arsenal-Chelsea games a lot. We saw it in the England-Australia game a couple of months back. And maybe the fact that Leah Williams isn't playing, we'd love her to be playing, of course we would, but the fact she isn't playing, Jen Beattie may be able to deal with Sam Kerr in a different way, more physical as she is with Jen. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's a slightly different option, isn't it? So we'll see what happens in that side of things and see how it goes. But it is going to be tough. We know it's going to be tough, of course. Now, Amar has given his little thoughts as well ahead of Chelsea, what he's thinking ahead of the game on Sunday.
Finally, I'll just do a quick preview of the Chelsea game. We know it's not going to be easy. We played them 3 times already this season. We should have arguably won all 3, shouldn't we? Should have beaten them at home, outplayed them there. Outplayed them in the FA Cup tie, just weren't clinical enough, and then we are ultimately embarrassed and humiliated them in the end. It would have been more than the 3-1 in the Conti Cup final, which was arguably the best performance we had under Jonas. So, let's see. I think for me, they've had it on an easy street a little bit. They've kept 3 clean sheets in a row, scoring 17 goals, but those are against teams you expect them to beat. They will not have it that way against Arsenal. We've shown how resilient the team, the girls are, and they will not give in easily. And I think they're more than capable of producing a result on Sunday. It will not be easy, we will not see it, but they work so hard for each other, and they are more than capable, as we've seen this season, of of giving the champions a game, and there's absolutely no reason for me to believe why they can't get a result. And so, yeah, with confidence, I predict we can go there and win. I think it's going to be probably about 2-1 Arsenal, but I think we've got a great chance, and it should be a great game, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Wow, Amar's gone big. He's gone big with a 2-1 win. Wow, fantastic. I mean, I agree. We've got nothing to fear. It's just a shame we don't have a slightly stronger team available in terms of our better players that are fit. But I've certainly got no doubts that we're going to match them up physically. I think we've got quality. Jafar's made a good point there. He says that we should stay back and hit them with a counter. If we attack, we will open, and Chelsea will penetrate that midfield. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we will do. I think we'll look to play on a counter and try to maybe, I mean, when we went away to Wolfsburg in the first leg of the semi-final a few weeks ago, you looked at our team and I thought, we've got some injuries here. We were 2-0 down early on and it looked dead and buried. But then what we did was we actually played to our strengths, didn't we? And we played on their weaknesses and it got us back in the game and got us a result. And I think we should do the same against Chelsea. Yeah, let's not go 2-0 down against Chelsea in 15 minutes again. Let's not make those silly mistakes at the back, but let's play to our strengths against them and let's target their weaknesses. They have been weak at the back this season, weaker than usual. They've conceded more goals than you'd expect them to. They've made some mistakes. Despite all our injuries, we've got quality in attack, haven't we? Frida's on fire with the goals she's been scoring. Stina at the moment is in fantastic form. She's going to be a threat. Caitlin Ford's back 2 goals the other night. She's a threat as well. We need to utilise our great attacking players. Victoria Pelova, if she can get forward more, we know the quality she's got as well. So, we can cause them problems. And I think we should, if we sit too deep, we're going to invite pressure onto us and then it's difficult. And that might not always be a good idea. But yeah, we can't be too open. Of course we can't. And I'm sure we won't. We'll go there with a plan. I'm sure we will. But let's see how it goes. I actually think we can get a result. Terry says, well said, Emma. I love this fighting talk. Yeah, exactly. We like Emma's in a positive mood when he recorded that, which was good. NA says there's currently no German player at Arsenal. Needs to be addressed this summer. He says Andreas, Mr. Scout. Yeah, I mean, is there any German players out there? Obviously, you watch a lot of the German Bundesliga. Is there any kind of German players you think would be a good fit for Arsenal that we could potentially get in the summer, maybe?
Yeah, the one I would love to see at Arsenal is Sidney Lohmann from Bayern Munich. She's a midfielder. She can play the defensive part of midfield, but she's also offensive, very strong. She's scoring goals. She's scored corners when she won the aerial duels, and she's strong with her head. Still only 23 years young. Just 1 more year on her contract. I don't think that Bayern will let her go because she came from the own youth team and they want to build the team around her. So I don't think there's a chance to get her. But on the other side, we wanted to spend £500,000 at the winter transfer window. So why not trying to get such a big name? And she would be the one I would love to see for our midfield. And I read that we are at least interested in Laura Freigang from Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankfurt lost Joke Nusken to Chelsea. She had contract and she left with an undisclosed fee. So maybe there's a chance to get Laura Freigang. I don't know. At least there seems to be interest for her. And of course, the one holding midfielder the whole Europe is chasing is Lena Oberdorf from Wolfsburg. We know her. I don't like her style of play as long as she's in Wolfsburg, but she could fit in every team in Europe. But she also has 1 or 2 years on her contract, and I think when she will leave Wolfsburg, she will break the transfer record. Maybe not this summer. That would be the perfect successor for Leah Walti. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't particularly like Lena Oberdorf, but I can see you can see her being really effective in the WSL, kind of the way that she plays. she would be a good player to have in the midfield, wouldn't she? As much as I don't particularly like her, if she was playing for us and doing that job for us, I'm sure we would love her very quickly, wouldn't we? Let's be honest, we would. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously there's some very good German players out there, and yeah, if we can get one or two of them in, fantastic. So we'll have to see what happens on that side of it. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily look at where players are from, what country they're from. If they're good players and could do a job for us in our team, that's all that matters to me. It doesn't matter if they're from Germany, from England, from Sweden, from Austria, from wherever they are. It doesn't matter as long as they're the right fit for the team and they work and it comes off. You know, we've got players from all over the world, haven't we, in our team at the minute, and you know they're all fantastic. So, but yeah, it'd be nice to get a German or two. Isn't it? You're right. We haven't got any in the squad at all, so it would be nice. Since that was Leonie Meyer, was she the last German that we had? Probably potentially wasn't she?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
She's going back to the German Bundesliga now. She was at Everton, and now she's going to Hoffenheim. Yeah, we discussed it on Sunday with my Bayern friends because we all know her from her time at Bayern Munich. She's only 29, but yeah, the last years weren't her best. So maybe it's good for her to be back in Germany.
Yeah, I think she was on the bench the other night for Everton, wasn't she? She never came on. I think she was on the bench. She's not really played that much, has she? It's been a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. Emerson says Chelsea midfield will dominate the match. Well, potentially, but who knows? His midfield is going to be, it's always important, isn't it, in every game? And obviously, us missing the players that we're missing, if we had Kim and Leah in there, then I don't think Chelsea would dominate the midfield to the same degree that they might do now. But we'll have to compensate for that. And, you know, other players will have to step in and do the job. And I'm sure they'll give everything to do that, whether it's Victoria in there, whether it's Katarina Kuhl in there, whether Frida has to sit deeper. She sat deeper a bit, didn't she, the other night, I thought, against Everton anyway, even when Leah was playing. She seemed a bit deeper, didn't she, Frida? A lot part of that game. So maybe she might just drop into that role anyway on Sunday. We'll have to see. Wayne says Herberdorf is cold, world-class potential. Oh, yeah, she's very cold. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, if she's playing for us, we wouldn't mind that though, would we? But the horrible player to play against. I must admit, the game at the Emirates the other week in the Champions League, I just did not enjoy her performance at all because she was just doing everything she could to stop us from playing, which is what you want on your team. But when it's against you, you just don't like it, do you? But anyway, Herman's in the chat. Herman, he says, hello, Richard Andreas. How you doing, my friend? Hope you are well. Jeffos says that Andreas doing better scouting than our men's scouts. Arsenal give him a contract. Yeah, no, he's definitely is. Let's do that. That'd be good. Yeah, get him on the payroll. That's what we need. And he says they're spot on. Andreas Sid would be to me what Super Jen is to Terry. Okay, well let's see if that happens then. NA says I'm also keeping an eye on Clara Ball from Bayern. Yeah, Clara Ball. Obviously, you know a lot about Clara Ball, don't you? Bayern. I mean, we saw her play against us as well in the Champions League. She's a decent player, isn't she?
Yeah, but she extended her contract few months ago, so I don't think she will go.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, you know, unfortunately that seems to be the case, but no, she's a good player, yeah, definitely, there's no doubt about that. Terry says as game show Amar ain't here this week, can we play guess what country Andreas is in this weekend? Well, are you going anywhere this weekend? Are you watching a game this weekend, or you're not?
No, I'm staying at home this weekend. I'm watching on TV. Bayern is playing tomorrow at Leverkusen, and if Bayern wins this match, then they've got the title secured. So I hope on Saturday a win for Bayern, and on Sunday I'm watching Arsenal at Chelsea. It's a busy week on TV, weekend on TV now.
Well, every game is so important now, isn't it? Or everywhere, the top and bottom of the tables, everything's so important, isn't it? So it's a good part of the season, isn't it? You love to be involved in games like this when it's at the end and there's so much riding on it. It's so exciting, isn't it? Herman says there, thanks guys, I'm well, except this is my busy music period. Well, yeah, you've got to enjoy it where you can. That's what I say. And Herman says there, how is Leah Walter? Yeah, I mean, we talked about her before. She's going to probably be out for about 6 weeks, they reckon. Which isn't great, but it's not as bad as we feared it may have been. So it's what it is. Yeah, she may make the World Cup anyway, which is great for her. But unfortunately, it's not too good for us in the next 2 games because we're going to have to be without her, unfortunately. NA says there, Kier extended her contract in November 2021, which runs until 2025, not that far away. Yeah, but when you've got 2 years left of your contract, you know, you're probably not going to leave, are you? Magnificent Jeffar says that Arsenal are also linked with Levante right back Thomas. She is so good. You guys need to look at her. Aggressive, good on the ball, very good in attacking. I mean, we need a right back, don't we? Because Laura's going to be out all of next season. We know that now. Obviously, Noel Moritz is our only natural right back now, and as good as she is, we need someone else. We need backup. We need another right back. So yeah, right backs is going to be a priority, and yeah, maybe that could be the answer. I don't know why. It's funny, isn't it? Because Arsenal pay all these people to do scouting jobs and go out and try to look at players. Why do they bother when everybody here, we know all the best players to sign? Quite clearly, Andreas knows all the best German players to sign. You know, Stefan's got this one from Levante to sign. Here we go. We've got that deal done. You know, we've already mentioned about Lacasse, so that's another one. They don't need to waste all that money on the scouts, do they? Just listen to us. We'll sort the job out between us. We'll get it done. Terry says, very good. NA, well spotted. I didn't know it was that obvious. What was that comment related to again? Anyway, I'm not sure, but any case, but yeah. So yeah, obviously we need a right back. So yeah, I would say that could be maybe a good option. I don't know too much about Thomas. Do you know much about her, Andreas? Have you seen much of her?
No, I only read the rumor that we are interested in her, but I don't follow the Spanish league, so I can't say anything about her. But it's high priority to get a right back.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, so maybe that's the one. Maybe Jaffar's got his finger on the pulse there of the Spanish left backs. We'll have to see. Bongo Guna says we just need more likes so the scouts notice us. Yeah, maybe that's what we need. I don't know. Maybe that's what we do need. Yeah. So give us a like anyway, then just to make sure. But yeah, I mean. Chelsea is going to be tough. We know it's going to be tough. It's always tough playing away at Chelsea, isn't it? And you know, there's nothing more we can do than give our best, and we will do that. And is it going to be enough? Amar thinks it will. Amar thinks we're going to win 2-1, which is great. Andreas thinks we're going to draw, which is fair enough. You know, we've played well against Chelsea this season, haven't we? And I suppose really last season as well. Apart from the FA Cup final. Last season we were terrible against Chelsea. The other FA Cup game we played really well in the first half, didn't we? And in the second half we kind of fell apart a little bit in that one. But we played reasonably well against Chelsea since Jonas has been in charge. Mm-hmm. We have done pretty well against Chelsea. We've played well against them. We've only beaten them twice, but we've played well. So I'm sure we'll do that again. I'm sure we'll have a plan. Yes, it's going to be tough in midfield, but all we can do is go out there and do our best, and I'm sure we will. And who knows? I still think we're going to win the league, so I think we're going to win as well. I'm going with Emma. I think we'll go and beat them. I really do. And see Emma's face at the end will be nice, won't it? Because we could potentially cost Chelsea the league by beating them. We could cost them the league. And if we can't win it, right? And yes, let's be realistic. Even if we beat Chelsea, we still probably won't win the league. But wouldn't it be nice if we could stop them winning it? That would be great, wouldn't it? That would make me smile. That would if we stop Chelsea winning the league. But anyway, let's see. I'm sure they'll probably win it anyway. Jafar says I watched her recently, but she is good. She has Katie vibes, but very good on the ball. Well, that'd be great. Let's see what happens. Put a note into to Jonas. Give him the heads up if he doesn't already, and maybe you might get the deal done. And then you should be able to get. I think if we sign her from Levante, I think Jafar deserves like a percentage of the fee for like a finder's fee or whatever it's called. That's what Jafar should get for that one. And if we sign those German players that Andreas said, then Andreas should get a finder's fee. And if we sign Alicia Russo, I should get a finder's fee because I've been banging on about her since last summer when she was doing so well in the Euros. But anyway, we'll see what happens in the summer. But we need to get this season done first. So we've got 2 really, really important games that we need to try to get 2 wins in, and who knows? But yeah, I still think we can win the league. I'm still going for that. So I'm going to say we're going to beat Chelsea. We beat them 3-1 last time. I think we might beat them 3-1 again, even though we've got a weaker team. So I'm going to go 3-1 away at Chelsea. That would be good, wouldn't it? Last time we won there, it was 5-0, and no one thought we'd beat them 5-0 that day, did they? So, who knows? But we did have Viv in the team then, and Daniel van der Donk and one or two others. But anyway, Jill, did Jill Ward play in that game? I'm not sure if she did. No, I don't think she joined us then, actually, when we won that 5-0. Can't remember now. It was a long time ago, wasn't it? But that's the last time we won away at Kings Meadow. So we owe them one. We definitely owe them one in the league. We should have beat them at the Emirates, as we know. So let's go there on Sunday. Let's do it. Let's make Emma. Let's cheer Emma up for the weekend by beating them, and let her come on to the TV and give an interview saying, "Oh, it meant more to Arsenal because we haven't won anything," and stuff like that, like she did last time. Because she's so salty. That'd be nice. But anyway, they've won the FA Cup. We've won the Conti Cup. And maybe it might be Man United winning the league if we can help them out maybe on the Sunday. But it's all about us. We need to win, and that's it. So it's going to be a great game anyway. There's no doubt about that, isn't there? So let's enjoy it, as they're always great games, aren't they? Arsenal against Chelsea, and the biggest games of the season. They're the WSL version of the Arsenal Man United games from the 1990s, aren't they? In the Premier League. So let's enjoy the game for what it is, and let's hope that we can, get the result, because it'd be brilliant. So now the weekend can officially start, because the Arsenal Women's Weekly Show is coming to an end. Thank you very much to everybody for watching. Jafar says there, I like Richard's positive predictions. I wish it was true. Well, it might be true. The good thing about predictions, the game hasn't played yet, so we can say whatever we like, because we can't be wrong, because it hasn't been played yet, has it? So we can say whatever we like to say, and I do feel positive. Actually, I've got to be honest, I do feel positive. Which maybe is wrong of me, because I felt positive before we played Chelsea in the FA Cup and they beat us. I was feeling not very positive about the Continental Cup final the week after, because they just beaten us and we won that. So who knows? But Terry's gone 3-2. Super Jen in the 87th minute header. Well, I think if Jen does score, it probably will be a header. I don't think there's a lot of doubt about that. I think we kind of know it'll be a header if she does score. 87th minute winner, that would be. I think maybe, to be fair though, I think against Chelsea you need to get the winner in like the 94th minute, so there's no time left. And if you score in the 87th minute with stoppage time, they'll probably go up the other end and get another one, because that's what they tend to do. Yeah, so let's score it a bit later than 87th minute. Let's make it 89th minute or 90th minute. That's when Jen needs to go out there and bang one in. That would be great. Herman says there, I am still amazed how the ladies played with all these. No, exactly, yeah. I mean, we all are. We're all really amazed with how they've been playing, and let's hope they've still got 2 more games left in them to pull it out of the bag. We just need 2 more now. That's it. They've put so much effort in the last few months. They've just got to do it 2 more games, and then we'll get where we want to get. Which, worst case scenario is top 3. Of course, that's where we need to be. Best case scenario is strange results happen elsewhere, and we come up on the rails and nick the title in the last minute of the last game, which would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Bongo Guna says 3-1, Stina scoring 4. Well, if Stina's scoring 4, how is it 3-1? She's going to score an own goal as well, is she? Is that what you mean? I don't see how Stina can score 4. We only win 3-1, but I'm going 3-1 as well. I think Stina will score, definitely. I think Stina will definitely score. Unfortunately, Sam Kerr will probably score for Chelsea as well, because she scores every time we play her. Bongo goes, yes, she's going to score her own goal as well. No, I think Sam Kerr will probably score for Chelsea, let's be honest. But yeah, I'm going to say we're going to win, because I'm feeling confident, and I think we will. So there you go. That's going to be good, isn't it? So yeah, join us for that game on Sunday. It's an early kickoff. Well, early-ish, kicks off at 12:30 our time. So I'll probably go live about 12:15 for that, to get a bit of build-up, go through the team line-up, see which players we play in what positions. And we know which players are going to play. It's just what positions they're going to play. It seems to be the main concern at the minute, because we've only got 11 players who can play. So it's basically just, that'll be the team. It's just who plays where. So we'll look at that before the game as well, and obviously we'll enjoy the game. It will be a good game, I'm sure, and hopefully we can win. NA says if Wolfsburg wins the Champions League, the WSL champions will play the qualifiers instead of the group stages. Will they? Is that right?
Yes.
So even the champions will play the qualifiers.
If Wolfsburg wins the Champions League and Bayern Munich wins the Bundesliga, then both are on top of their groups, and then Barcelona for Spain and Lyon for France are the other heads in the groups. And the WSL champion has to go in second round of the these playoffs. Yeah.
Really? I
It's
didn't know that.
really strange. Yeah.
Ah,
But
so I mean, see,
Barcelona wins Champions League.
we're probably the top league in Europe, really, aren't we, in terms of the depth of the league?
Yeah,
So
but
why are we the ones that have to go through the qualifiers? Why don't the Spanish league have to go through the qualifiers? Is it because Barcelona have reached the final? I suppose it will be, won't it?
yeah, I don't know. It's about points over the last 5 years or so, and yeah, we are not
Yeah.
amongst the top 4 leagues or top 3. It's top 3 league winners and the defending champion. They are set in the groups, so
I would.
it's difficult.
Well, there's another reason to want Wolfsburg to lose, then, isn't it? And not that we need any extra reasons to want Wolfsburg to lose, but that's an extra reason, isn't it? Because it means that well, I mean, it doesn't really affect us because we're probably not going to win the league, are we? But we're going to have to go through the qualifiers anyway, probably regardless, aren't we? But anyway, yeah, it's another reason for Wolfsburg to lose, isn't it? Because that would be nice. Terry says, "Great show again, Richard Andreas." The International Man of Mystery and all in the chat. Have a great weekend and hit the likes before you go. Yeah, give us a like before you go. Terry says, "Come on, you Goonie girls." Herman says that would be a headache for the opposition. Well, yeah, exactly. Says my typing is slow today. No, don't worry. We kind of understand what you mean anyway. That's great. Jeff says, "Have a great evening, guys. Great show." Yeah, see you very soon, my friend. Probably Sunday. WSL is 4th in UEFA coefficiency. I mean, that probably makes sense, doesn't it? When you look at the last few Champions League finals and semi-finals, Chelsea got to a final a couple of years ago, didn't they? We got to obviously semi-final this year. I don't know. Chelsea got knocked out of group stage last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
so
they were out after the group stage. Yeah,
and as a group stage. So
Barcelona in the final last years, and Wolfsburg always through semi-finals or final.
But this year we had 2 semi-finalists, didn't we? From the WSL, so that might help us going forward if we can keep getting to semi-finals and hopefully finals, and we can win it again. But yeah, I mean, we need to sort that out, don't we? Because 4th. We shouldn't be 4th in UEFA coefficients, should we? When we've got the strongest league overall, unfortunately, it only counts on how you perform in the Champions League, doesn't it? That's the only thing that seems to matter in it, which is a shame. But yeah, we need to improve that. Don't we? The WSL need to improve that. We need to improve our record in the Champions League overall, don't we? And it might help with
all 3 teams in the group stage.
That's what we need.
Yeah. You can say, I don't like Chelsea, I don't like Man United, but we need all 3 WSL teams in the group stage. That's important for collecting points and getting up in the ranking, and for everything. It's important to have teams in the group stage, and not like last season or last 2 seasons when Man City lost against Real Madrid and was out before the Champions League really starts. That's not good for the renommee of the league. So let's hope for all 3 teams in the group stage, and then let's see how they perform there.
Yeah, no, I would like to see that as well. Yeah, that's what you need, don't you? You need to have all 3 in the group stage. And that needs to happen on a consistent basis, doesn't it, over the next few seasons going forward? And Man City have blown it 2 years in a row, haven't they? So that hasn't helped us. But we'll see what happens this year. I mean, Man City might not even be in it because they're probably like to finish 4th now, aren't they? So we'll see what happens there. Bongo Guna says, "Cover you guys indeed." Herman says, "Have you any news of players leaving or new ones coming in?" Not really yet. Not any firm news yet. We're going to start hearing about this once the season's finished, aren't we? There's going to be a lot more rumours. I mean, rumours are what they are. They're rumours, and they don't necessarily mean they're going to happen. But we'll hear a lot more, I'm sure, once the season's finished. Nobody so far. We can't really afford anyone to leave, can we? Because we won't even have a team if we sell any players. So we need to keep everyone that we've got. And obviously add a few more new ones as well, which I'm sure we will. And it says, "I'm hoping Wolfsburg wins. I want revenge against them in the group stage." No, I want revenge against them in the semi-final next year and beat them, because we came so close this time, and we know we can beat them. We know they're not better than us. They wasn't better than us over those 2 games. They wasn't. No one can say that they was, and even they know they wasn't. They got lucky in the end to get the goal at the end. It could have gone either way. They weren't better than us over those 2 games, and next season we're going to be even better than we are now. And I would love to play them. We played them 2 seasons in a row. We've got closer each time. Let's play them next year and beat them. It's our time. So let's do that. No, we don't want them to win. Let them come runners up. Let us play them in the knockout stage again next year. That's what we want to do and beat them. That's what we need to do, and show them that we're the up and coming team in Europe. We are. I can sense it. We showed that this season, didn't we? With a depleted squad, that we can. Whether we can win the Champions League, it's a big ask, isn't it? When you look at Barcelona, how good they are, and some of the other teams, but we're there. We're not far off. We wasn't far off this year, and let's do it next year. Herman says, I wonder about Viv and Bev. They won't leave because they're injured, and they're going to be injured at the start of the season, so they're not going to be. No one's going to buy an injured player, are they? Anyway, no one's going to take an injured player on, so they will stay, and. At least Viv at least next season, and we'll see what happens. She's going to be a year older, and she might want a big move before her career ends. Or, if Beth stays, Viv will probably stay. Let's be honest. So, they're kind of tied at the hip these days. So if Beth stays, I'm sure Beth will. Beth's got no intention of leaving Arsenal, I don't think, at all. I think she's more than happy to stay out the rest of her career at Arsenal. So that might persuade Viv to stay as well, because I think that did last year. I think one of the reasons Viv ended up staying for that extra year or signing a new contract was partly down to Beth as well. So, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of stuff's got to happen in the future. There's going to be contracts coming up, contracts renewed. Other players will leave. Some players will leave inevitably, unfortunately, and others will come in. That's football, isn't it? And we'll enjoy the ride, whatever happens. Whoever comes in and goes, we'll all enjoy it. Herbert says next season that we will be better. Yeah, I'm sure we will. I think we'll definitely be better next season. We'd have learned a lot from this season, the experiences that we've had, the togetherness of the team that we mentioned before, the spirit that they've shown. All that's going to come and going to be put to good use next season. And I think we're going to really have a great set. This season has been a great season in the circumstances. And I think next season is going to be even better. And we are going to be here to enjoy it, of course, as always. Don't forget, tomorrow, of course, the men are playing a bit of a pointless game in many ways. Now the title's gone, but it's still a game that we'll watch. I probably won't be doing a watch-along. I might do a show after the game to talk about the game, look at do an instant review after the game afterwards tomorrow. Instead of doing, I'll see. I might change my mind and do a watch-along. I don't know yet. But I'm definitely doing a watch-along on Sunday of the Arsenal against Chelsea game. So join me for that at 12:15. And I say I'll probably will do something after the game tomorrow. I might just sit and watch it and then do a show about 8 o'clock, looking back on the games. If you're around for that, join me for that as well. Herman says a move to another club is no guarantee for us. I say no, it isn't. Absolutely not. It's no guarantee you'll fit in at another club either, is it? Some players work well at one club and they move and it doesn't work. We've seen that happen plenty of times, haven't we, in our own team? So. Emerson says, what are your thoughts on the player from Benfica linked to us? Yeah, we mentioned that before. That's Chloe Lacasse, who we spoke about before. Yeah, we kind of agree that she's a goal scorer and you can't get too many goal scorers in your squad. So if we can get her, let's get her in. As long as she's not the only attacking player we buy, we'll be happy because she looks like she could be decent. We kind of compared her before to Rafaela, a player maybe in their 30s coming from a so-called lower league, but coming to the WSL and had a massive impact. Why can't Chloe Lacasse do that? She knows where the goal is. There's no doubt about that. She's a finisher and she'd be a good player to have. So, yeah, I'd say let's get her if we can. But let's not stop trying to get Russo as well. Let's get them both. Plus a load of other players. Whether we can afford to do that, I don't know. But anyway, we sold out the Emirates, 60,000 fans. We can buy whoever we like because that's where we are as a club. Chelsea wouldn't be able to sell out that. Look at their end at the FA Cup final. It was half empty. It was Man United fans that filled up Wembley, and Andreas, of course, and Man United fans. That's what filled up Wembley. It wasn't Chelsea fans. So we can sell out the Emirates. We can buy whoever we want. Let's get them all in. That's what I say. And let's go for it next season and show that we're the best because we are the best anyway. But we need to prove it with trophies, don't we? That's what we need to do. We've got one this year, and let's get some more next year because I quite like winning trophies. It's quite fun, isn't it? Winning cup finals, that was good. We need to do that a bit more, I reckon. And he says it's funny how Beth wasn't probably happy with Viv's arrival back in 2017 and look what's happening now. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. You're probably right, but it's just how life goes, isn't it, I suppose? And now I say they're sort of tied at the hip, aren't they? It's just weird, isn't it? They've both got those injuries so close together and they're recovering together, really. I suppose it's good, really, that they've got they've got each other to help them through it. Herman says, lately I've been watching Haley Onstrom, an American golfer, lovely to watch, better than politics. Well, it's definitely better than watching politics, 100%. I'm not a massive fan of watching golf. I quite like playing golf, but I'm not a massive fan of watching it, actually. I don't know. I don't think it goes well on TV for some reason. I've never actually been to a golf event live. That might be good. I don't know, but I'm not overly keen on watching it on the telly. I must be honest, but I don't mind playing a bit of golf. I must admit, it's quite nice. Terry says, at least if Forest beat us tomorrow, we can say Forest lost us the league and not Man City made us bottle it. No, that's a fair point. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's already lost, isn't it? Brighton cost us the league by beating us last week. That's what happened. To be honest, I quite like Forest to stay up, actually, because I quite like Nottingham Forest as a club. I think that, when I grew up in the 1970s, they were a very good team. Brian Clough, just a fantastic manager, and they play some great football. And I probably, when I was about 8 or 9 years old, I could maybe have supported Nottingham Forest because I used to enjoy watching them play. They was on the telly quite a lot because they were in Europe and they were doing well. I used to see them. Well, that's probably more on the telly than Arsenal. And I kind of always had a soft spot for Forest. I just loved the way they played. And I'd quite like them to stay up, but they still need a result somewhere. NA says, stay safe and have a good weekend, guys. Always a gem of a show with you guys. And yourself, mate, thank you very much for tuning in as always. Herman says, I played a lot of golf. Yeah, I play a bit of golf, but not as much as I'd like to. I think when I stop playing football, I might play a bit more golf, but I do enjoy a good bit of golf. So that's something that I'll look at doing a bit more of in the future, maybe. But yeah, I'm not a fan of watching it particularly. I find it a little bit slow, shall we say. But it's good to play. So that's the Arsenal Women's Weekly for this week. It's been a decent enough week. We got the 3 points we needed against Everton. Yes, the injury was terrible, and another one that we didn't need. But we've got a massive game on Sunday, the big one. It's the biggest game of the season. I love playing against. Well, I say I love playing against Chelsea. I love it because it's such a big game. It's great to beat them. It's horrible to lose to them, but let's hope we can pull it out of the bag. We've surprised. I think that the girls have surprised us this season with some of the performances we've produced in difficult circumstances throughout this season. We've been magnificent, and one more on Sunday would be fantastic. Let's hope we can see a really big Arsenal performance again and show Emma that she can't have it all her own way. They might well win the league. They won the FA Cup, but we're still around and we're still fighting them, and we're still going to be around for the next few years. So she needs to get used to us, and we'll show them on Sunday that we're still here. Terry says, I like watching golf. It beats counting sheep. Well, yeah, it's not quite that bad, but I do find it a little bit too slow personally to watch, but each their own. It's a great sport. There's no doubt about that. It's very, very, it's very technical, isn't it? It's a very skillful sport, golf, actually. You've got to have good high-hand coordination. It's a really clever sport, but yeah, maybe not the most exciting to watch. Anyway, that's that then. I'll be back at some point tomorrow night for the Nottingham Forest game, either for the game or afterwards. I'll stick a thing out for that. And of course, Sunday, 12:15, I'll definitely be here for the watch-along, Chelsea against Arsenal. Come on, let's do it, Arsenal. Come on, let's beat Chelsea. Amar's going to be right this week. He's going to get his score right. We're going to win. It's going to be great. So thanks for all you guys for watching. Thanks for all your comments, as always. Thanks to Andreas, of course. Have you enjoyed the show again?
Yeah, of course. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the discussion with our viewers too. Interesting to read what they think or want us to discuss. So as always, I enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next match.
Indeed, and hopefully next week's show we might well have Amar and Matt in the flesh back on the channel. We'll have to wait and see. Herbert says can't play anymore because my left ankle is kaput. That's no good, is it? Just play with. Do you need your ankles to play golf? You sort of need your arms more than your legs, don't you? Really, I suppose you can get in the trolley, get in the golf trolley, so you've got to walk between your shots and just get drove about and just hit the ball. That's what you need to do. You can always play. So yeah, it's been a great show. So it's a shame that obviously Matt and Amar couldn't be with us, but so hopefully I'll be back next week. We'll be back next Friday too. It's going to be an end of season special, isn't it? Next Friday, the last weekend of the season, the last game. We'll be looking forward to that. So we're looking into that on Friday next week, and then probably the week after, we'll do our end of season review. We'll look back on the season. We'll give all our awards out, a few good awards this season that's going to be coming up. So that'll be the week after. But next week we'll look into the final weekend of the season. Who's going to win the league? Because it's going to go down to the last game one way or the other, whether we're involved or not. It's going to go down to the last game. So it's going to be an exciting finish. So we'll look all ahead to that next week. There'll be one or two other shows during the week as well, I'm sure. I think Melvin's back with Highbury Matters on Wednesday, so that'll be good. We'll probably throw a show in somewhere along the line as well. And if you're a fan of the other channel that I've done, the drone channel, I'll have another video out tomorrow, probably, or Sunday, looking at another football club, a local football club. So stay tuned for that as well. But we'll definitely be back for the game on Sunday. Come on, you Gunners, let's do it. Let's beat Chelsea, end the season on a high. That's what we want to see. It's going to be good. So join us for that. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
To Arsenal now, Frida Marnham again inside here looking for a second goal. Oh, she's got a second goal. That seals it. Frida Marnham again.